What's up, Ranger Nation? It's your boy JB coming to you on a Saturday morning. Since we don't have any Beast Morphers, you guys will be getting 2 videos this week from me in Ranger Talk. So the first one that I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the line of all the Ranger team ups in history and rank them in order of my favorite. Actually, it's gonna go from least to favorite. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. I think it is. Let me see how many there is on this list. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So you got 17 of them, and we're gonna go in order of my favorite to least favorite. Well, my least favorite to my most favorite. So stick around, and we're just gonna go from there. And then also, you guys in the comments, let me know what your favorites are in order, and we'll just have a discussion about it. All right, so number 17 on my list is going to be the Legendary Battle. So the reason Legendary Battle is ranked so low on my list is because I actually hate the Legendary Battle. Legendary Battle was not that good to me. Legendary Battle was hyped up so much when we would see the returning actors that had returned, and we saw a lot of them, and there were some things that weren't answered. Like, I was happy to see Melody Perkins as Corone once again, but she wasn't the original chosen Pink Ranger, so I was kind of confused. Since Kendrix is the original Pink Ranger who was chosen by the Quasar Saber, how is it that Corone returned instead of Kendrix? Like, that was a big question for me, because Corone was astronomer, and then Kendrix was the pink. Like I said, Kendrix was pink. Kendrix lost or sacrificed her powers so that Cassie could keep hers, and then Corone stepped in and took over in Kendrix's place. So that was kind of confusing. And then also, if we go back to Trickiness Revenge, Corone didn't return. It was Kendrix who returned. But that was one thing. And then I didn't like the fact that they didn't get a lot of screen time. And even with Corone returning, Corone didn't get. She just got in the. I think it was in that extended one where she had her helmet, and she said she loves being a Power Ranger, and she raised it up, and we saw Astronomer's face, and she put it on. So that was that. And then also with the Legendary Battle, with Legendary Battle, so the Super Mega Force Rangers, they have been fighting the X-Borgs all season long. So it was so weird that Troy and Orion defeated Emperor Marvro. I would thought that would have been the final battle, them battling Emperor Marvro instead of a bunch of X-Borgs. Like, X-Borgs. And then another thing with the Legendary Battle that I did not like. So we saw all of our US Rangers from Mighty Morphin. Oh, Tommy. Noah got on. I really did not like Noah's acting at all. But yeah, you saw Mighty Morphin, the Alien Rangers, the Zeo Rangers, Turbo, Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, Wild Force, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, SPD, Mystic Force, Operation Overdrive, Jungle Fury, RPM, Samurai, and then also you had the what was his Robo Knight showed up out of nowhere. I'm like, wait a minute. So Robo Knight has been missing all season long, but now we have Robo Knight in the final episode. Make that make sense to me. And then also the other thing that I did not like about Legendary Battle, it was something else. Oh, yeah. So with the battle, with the Legendary Battle, the Legendary Battle included Sentai teams that we never saw before. And then also, I wish that they had done more with the Titanium Ranger, since he is a U.S. original Ranger. We never once saw the Titanium Ranger all season, that whole season. And Ryan, the Titanium Ranger, is a U.S. made Ranger. Even who else? Somebody pointed that out to me, and I forgot about it. That the Spirit Rangers from Jungle Fury, those are original U.S. Rangers. Why did we not use any Rangers from the U.S.? Like, it just was mind-blowing and baffling, and that is why the Legendary Battle from Super Mega Force is ranked low on my list. Number 16, and for me to say Legendary Battle, So Legendary Battle and Clash of the Red Rangers, those two tied for last place. But out of both of them, which one did I like the least? It really was the Legendary Battle. Clash of the Red Rangers, I could have did without that. They could have actually kept that episode and never released it, in my personal opinion, because Clash of the Red Rangers is horrible. It's just as bad as Legendary Battle. But, you know, because in Clash of the Red Rangers and Power Rangers Samurai, that is when Scott, RPM Red Ranger, or Ranger Series Red, Ranger Operator Series Red, whichever one you want to call him, when Scott returned, he never demorphed. So we had a voiceover actor, which we don't know if that was him or not. And my big flaw with Clash of the Red Rangers was, and there was two things with Clash of the Red Rangers three things actually, that I did not like. Because I actually watched the Sentai footage of that episode, and in the Sentai footage, the RPM team, well, what would be the RPM team if they had adapted everything instead of just Scott? In the Go Onger and what's the Sentai counterpart of I can't pronounce the name of it right now. I can't think of it. But the Sentai counterpart of Samurai, in their team up episode, the Go Onger team, they came back. When our Samurai Rangers returned, they had the other team with them. And then when our team came back, Emily says, "Your team says hi." What the hell? That was one thing. And then Professor Cog, like, we never once heard of Professor Cog in the RPM world, but every time RPM showed up in Power Rangers, Professor Cog shows up for some odd reason. Like in Megaforce, Professor Cog showed up, and I'm just like, where is Professor Cog coming from? We had Vengeance in the RPM world. So, and then like also that episode, I'm pretty sure it took place. Because obviously in the RPM dimension, they had not defeated Vengeance at this point for Clash of the Red Rangers. So Vengeance was still around, and there was never once a mention of Vengeance at all, which was confusing to me. And then also the fact that when Scott, this was so stupid to me, when Scott said the reason why he could not demorph was because he did not know if the air in the Samurai world was safe to breathe. Obviously, it's safe to breathe because they're breathing it and they ain't dead. Like, I get you coming from another world well, now we know it's another dimension, but to say that you don't know if you can breathe in the air, what does that mean? In your world, you live in a dome city. And then if you go out into the wasteland, y'all don't wear hazmat suits or anything. So I was just thoroughly confused about that. And then the last thing in the Clash of the Red Rangers episode that I hated was the traveling subway. The dimension traveling subway. Like, y'all can come up with any other thing but a subway. A subway. Y'all can do a portal, like anything but a subway. So that is why. So like I said, Legendary Battle and what's that? Clash of the Red Rangers. Those were tied. I just had to put Legendary Battle last because I would actually watch the Clash of the Red Rangers before I watch the Legendary Battle ever again. And I would never watch either one of them, to be quite honest with you. All right, so number 15 on the list, we have Blue to the Rescue, which was in Power Rangers in Space. Now, I love the episode I love the episode, really did. I love to see Lightning Cruiser and Storm Blaster. I enjoy seeing Lightning Cruiser and Storm Blaster come back. I enjoy seeing Divatox, her and Astronomer getting into it. Oh, when she called Astronomer and taught her, there's a little thing called a Storm Blaster. She said, "What's a Storm Blaster?" She said, "If I find it first, it's mine." The whole back and forth between Astronomer and Divatox and Rita, I loved their dynamic the whole entire season of Power Rangers in Space. But the real reason why Blue to Rescue is ranked so low on my list is because of Blake Foster. And it's not because of what he's done lately. It's really because back in the day when Power Rangers Turbo and Power Rangers in Space were on, I just was not a fan of the character Justin. Justin was not my favorite Ranger. He's actually one of my least favorite Rangers. He's tied with Dax Lowe from Power Rangers Operation Overdrive and Ronnie from Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. Those are my least favorite characters in the franchise. So yeah, that's the real reason why Blue to the Rescue is rated so low. Because like I said, I enjoyed the episode thoroughly. Loved that episode. I just was not happy to see Justin. And that's pretty much it. And we're going to move on. Because like I said, it's literally Justin. Justin. Like, I wonder if that was supposed to be an appeal to kids to see a kid Ranger. I guess that was supposed to be an appeal. But also in the 90s, we had, you know, Big Bad Beetleborgs and Beetleborgs Metallics. So I don't know why they felt the need to add Justin to the cast as a Power Ranger. They could have had him as a Beetleborg. He could have played Josh Baldwin on Beetleborgs if that was the case. All right, so where are we at? Number 14 on my list. So number 14, I did not know where to place Dimensions in Danger. I knew Dimensions in Danger was not going to be like super duper high on my list, but I didn't want it to be super low on my list. And the reason why I have it here is just because like the ones that are like at the top of my list, I could not squeeze it in between any of these that are my favorites. So I had to think about it. I'm like, okay, it's not the worst and it's not the best. Because I actually really do love Dimensions in Danger. Only thing with Dimensions in Danger is I wish that it had been a little bit longer. And I wish that we had actually got a revamped morph for each Ranger, you know, instead of just a flash morph. What else with Dimensions in Danger? Nothing. Because overall, it was a really good episode. It didn't have any Victor and Monty in it. And that was saying a lot for Super Ninja Steel. So Dimensions in Danger, it's good where it's at. Yeah, I think I can't say anything. I really can't say very much bad about Dimensions in Danger at all. Aside from the fact that I wish it was a little bit longer and that we had gotten more from each Ranger from the past. But other than that, it was good. And also I did do a review for it. So if you guys had never watched the review, go watch the review of it. All right, guys, so we had number 13 on my list. So number 13 on the list is another episode from Power Rangers in Space, and it was always a chance. And this is the episode where Adam returned. And this is also the episode when Carlos was considering, you know, not being a Power Ranger after he had hurt Cassie. And like I said, Adam returned. I love the fact of seeing Adam returning. Now, when I saw Adam returning, I thought maybe he would have had this. Well, you know, but when it comes to the Zeo powers, we don't really know what happened to the Zeo powers. We just know that they switched from Zeo to Turbo. So we never really got a definite answer in Turbo or Power Rangers movie. What else? But yeah, it was good to see Adam. Now, the one thing with Adam was that I was kind of confused about. He had Ranger powers, but he had the Mastodon power, which technically wouldn't that have been, because when he morphed he said Mastodon, but when he lost, okay, so here's where this is why it's ranked where it is on the list, because the Mastodon powers, we had not saw Mastodon since season 2 of Power Rangers, and that was before they went on the Ninja Quest. And when they went on the quest for the Ninja powers, they got new power coins with their animal spirits, and Adam's was the Black Frog, which was Black Ranger power when he morphed. So that's why I was kind of confused why he said Mastodon. You know what? Also, oh, okay, so never mind, because I was about to ask her a question. But when he used to call for his Zord, when Zach and Adam called for their Zord, it was Mastodon, Lion, Thunder Zord power. Okay, but that's why it's ranked where it is. And then also with the power coins, if we remember correctly, Goldar and Rito turned the power coin. Well, Goldar stole the power coins from them when they were kids, and Lord Zed and Rita turned them to dust. So where did he get the power coin from, and where did he get the power morpher from? So that is why that is ranked where it is on the list. It was overall a good episode. It was just a lot of questions in there for me personally, but you know, we can move on from there. All right, so number 12 on my list is going to be Once a Ranger. Once a Ranger. That was a pretty good episode to me. I actually really liked seeing Adam come back. I loved the new theme, the new Power Ranger theme. I love that morph that he did. Oh my God, absolutely amazing. Now, for the longest time, I never really understood why they did a remixed Mighty Morphin theme and a remixed morph for Adam. But then I finally, as I started to understand a little, and actually in 2017, when that episode happened, I was 17 years old. So I don't know why I guess I hadn't put two and two together that, Saban had sold the rights of Power Rangers over to, which I knew that as a kid, but it never really just 100% clicked in my brain, I guess. So it didn't click to me until maybe a year or two after, when I was like, why? Because I kept asking, I was like, why would they remix that theme, and why would they change the morph? And it was like, oh, because they did not own the original rights from, they didn't own all that stuff from Mighty Morphin, and that's why we never really saw any of that stuff. I'm like, okay, that's why it makes sense. I was so happy to see Kira. I was happy to see Tori. I loved seeing what's his name? Oh God, Bridge. How am I forgetting Bridge? Bridge is like my favorite character from SPD. Bridge and Sid. I love those two because they're quirky and they're not conventionally what you would think of as a ranger, especially Sidney Drew. But yeah, Xander Bly. I like Xander to an extent. Xander is actually we might do a video at some point about my least favorite characters in Power Rangers history, which that might be a short list, because pretty much everybody I like, with the exception of quite a few, it's just a handful of people. It's just like a small handful of people that I don't like from Power Rangers. But yeah, Once a Ranger was a good episode. There were some things that I questioned about Once a Ranger as well, and I think you guys might be able to figure out what I questioned about Once a Ranger. The biggest thing that I questioned in Once a Ranger was Thrax. Thrax, who was the son of Rita and Zed. Now, if we go back to Power Rangers in Space, Rita and Zed were turned pure when Zordon's light hit everybody. So I was wondering, and if we remember back in season 3, I believe it was, on Mighty Morphin, when Lord Zed said he wanted to start a family with Rita, and she was like, no, because she asked Finster to make a counteract to the love potion that she gave him. So I was just confused, like, when did Thrax come about? Did he come about, before, did they have Thrax between, and it actually would have to have been in Turbo, because we never saw them at all in Power Rangers Turbo. So it would have to be Turbo where they had Thrax. But if they had Thrax, where was Thrax? Oh, that they should have explained that a little bit more, because now that I think about it, the gears are starting to roll in my head with a backstory on Thrax. So, and this is a fan. I'm doing a fan fiction thing for once. I've never done that. But here's my fan fiction idea of how we got Thrax. So, Thrax, like I said, they had to have had Thrax in the Turbo era of Power Rangers, because if we go back to the Zeo era, the beginning of Zeo, they were running from King Mondo and Queen Machina. And then also, the second part of season 2 in Power Rangers Zeo, you guys have to remember that Rita and Zed, at this point, they no longer feared King Mondo and Queen Machina. And the reason why they didn't fear King Mondo and Queen Machina anymore is because the Rangers were managing to defeat all of their monsters. So that was when they started, going back and forth with each other. So I don't believe Rita was pregnant with Thrax in Zeo. I believe that, oh yes. So if you guys go back to Turbo Power Rangers movie, remember when Divatox called Rita and she said, when Divatox asked her, I need your advice. How do I get rid of the Power Rangers? The what? The Power Rangers? If I knew that, do you think I'd be sitting here lying here? Do you think I'd be lying here listening to this? My advice to you, Jbsayzwhat, run! Thanks for nothing. I love that scene. Oh, I love that scene in that movie. That, hands down, is the funniest scene in that movie. So yes, I believe that Rita and Zed had Thrax in the Turbo era. And so, and then we have to go to Power Rangers in space. So, in space. So we're on in space. So if you guys remember the United Alliance of Evil, we never really saw Master Vile at all. Master Vile or Rito at all. We would see Rita and Zed here and there. So with this United Alliance of Evil, I would say that when Rita and Zed were helping, Astronomer and Dark Spectre, that they probably left Thrax with Master Vile while they were, doing what they were doing. Now, for the big wave that hit of pure energy, did we ever see Master Vile get destroyed? I mean, I'm pretty sure Master Vile was turned to dust. But Thrax, who is half human, half whatever Lord Zed is, and we know half witch, half human, half witch, half whatever his parents are. I really don't know what the hell Lord Zed is. But since Thrax has, a humanoid form instead of an alien form, he has a humanoid form, although he is deformed looking. I think that since he had that humanoid form and he was a baby, that Zordon's light did not affect him, which, ooh, I did that. Like, I really did do that. Ooh! Like, I do want to write some stuff at some point in my life, but I'm not at that point yet. But we're going to move on with my list. But if you guys have any ideas or, want to throw some stuff out about Thrax, leave that in the comment. I would love to just know what people think about Thrax. Number 11 on the list. We are really getting through this list. So number 11 on my list is history, and that is in SPD. I loved history to an extent. And the reason I love seeing Kira, I love seeing Ethan and Connor, and it was really a good episode. I really did enjoy the episode. It's just one thing about the episode that I just didn't like. So we have a team up episode, but we're missing two teammates from the the Dino Thunder team, because Broodwing he kidnapped the three main Rangers. Well, they're not the main Rangers, because you got Trent and you got Dr. Oliver, the Brachio Ranger and the Drago Ranger. So that is the reason why I'm not a big fan of SPD's history episode. Just simply because we didn't have all the Rangers, and we didn't have every Ranger from the Dino Thunder team. So that's why history is ranked where it is. Overall, great episode. I haven't watched SPD in a long time, and I actually had that DVD. I had that on. One of these days, you guys, I'm going to show you guys my collection. Like, I have the VHS tapes, I have the DVDs, and I have the VHS tapes that I recorded back in the day. Like, because when I was a kid, Power Rangers did come on the weekend, but the early part of the 90s, before Lost Galaxy and in space, Power Rangers came on during the week. So I would have to set a DVR. Set my DVR. I didn't get my DVR until 2006. But back in the 90s, like with Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Turbo, Space, the first half of Power Rangers in space, it would come on during the week. It would come on Monday through Friday. And at that time, it was actually, no, it did come on. It came on. I think Power Rangers in Space came on like almost every day during the week. Or no, it may have been one day during the week. I think it was like a Tuesday. I think it came on Tuesdays. And I wouldn't get out of school till 3 o'clock, and it would come on at 3 o'clock. So I would have to set my VCR to record it. And then also, if you guys remember, like back in the summers in the 90s, they would do those little manias, like Like they would have a week where they would show nothing but Power Rangers Lost Galaxy or Power Rangers in Space episodes or Turbo Monster Theater, where they would show. Oh, do you guys remember Turbo Monster Theater? If you're my age, and I'm almost 30, if you're my age, you guys remember Turbo Monster Theater when they would show, the episode with Torch Tiger, Mad Mike, Strikeout Monster. Who else was it? The Strikeout Monster. It's another one I'm missing. It was Mad Mike, which was the pizza. Strikeout Monster, which was the baseball episode. Torch Tiger, which was the episode when Tanya, Adam, Catherine, and Tommy left and gave the powers to TJ, Cassie, Ashley, and Carlos. So Torch Tiger. It's another one. The Maniac Mechanic. It's 5 of them because it was a whole week of it. I'm missing one from Turbo Monster Theater. Oh my God. Who is it? It's going to come to me eventually. It's going to come to me after I finish this video. You know what? It's not going to come to me after I finish this video because we are about to search it on my other phone. Turbo Monster Theater. And then you guys also remember, Mystic Knights of Tyranny. Oh my God, I got that on VHS. I recorded some Mystic Knights of Tyranny Nog. Who else? Young Hercules. The big bad Beetleborgs. The Masked Rider. Oh my God, I can go down the line of shows from the late 90s, man. I wish I could go back in time to the 90s. Life was so simple then. Life was so freaking simple when I didn't have any bills. Didn't have to work. Turbo Monster Theater. You got to be joking. They actually still... Oh my God, it's a commercial. This is the commercial on YouTube. Oh. Do I want to play this? I don't think anybody can lay a copyright to a commercial, can they? Maniac Mechanic, Torch Tiger, Strikeout. I was just Mad Mike. So I was right. Oh, and then you guys also remember Power Rangers OTO? OTO, one time only, which one time only ended before it was supposed to end. Because it was supposed to be every Rangers season, one time only. You got, and Power Rangers Power Playback. Man, the 90s were the shit. I really hope I don't get copyrighted for that damn Turbo Monster Theater. I really hope and pray I don't. Alright, so we are at number 10 on my list. Number 10, I did not know where to place this one either. This is Thunderstorm, and this is the episode from Power Rangers Dino Thunder. I can't say anything bad about Thunderstorm because I actually really, really love Thunderstorm. I love, seeing the Rangers fight each other with their, their genetic abilities. Like with Tori, with her in the water, Dustin and him going under the, going under the ground and just, doing that. Who else? Shane. Rest in peace, Pua Magasiva. Shane, when he would go in the air, Connor's his strength, Kira's her screaming, and Ethan's his when you hit him. So yeah. So at this point in my list, it was really hard to place these episodes because most of these episodes that I'm about to talk about now are literally favorites of mine that I still watch. Like Thunderstorm, I think I might have that on VHS. I think I might have still have that recording on VHS tape, like with the commercials. Oh God. So yeah, Thunderstorm was not bad. I love Thunderstorm. So I can't really say nothing bad about Thunderstorm. Actually, none of these the ones that are left, I can't say much bad about them. But there were some things with some of the next ones that are coming up on my list that I did have some issues with. And it's actually just one, and it's the one that's coming after this one that I had a big issue with. And we'll go right into it. All right, guys, so number 9 on my list. Number 9 is going to be Time for Lightspeed. Overall, I thought it was a good episode, but the episode was plagued with so many unanswered questions. And the biggest question of them all is, where the hell did Viper come from? Like, can anybody explain to me where Viper came from? First of all, she was in a grave, and you guys can see what I did. I did exactly that. So the scene, she raised her hand up. The time has come for revenge. The time has come for revenge. Now, I would have understood that a lot more if Queen Bansheera was still alive, but Queen Bansheera was dead in the because in the final episode, Fate of Lightspeed, when they opened the tomb and Queen Bansheera tried to take Carter in the tomb with her, Diabolico came up and blasted her, and she fell in the tomb. And they closed the tomb, and the demon's lair turned to dust. So I would have understood that a lot more if Viper was coming back to, destroy Queen Bansheera. Because if you guys remember, go back to Lightspeed Rescue, when Queen Bansheera got back to her final form, she absorbed Viper. So I was so confused as to where Viper came from in Time for Lightspeed. And then also, like I said, all the demons were defeated. So how was there a super demon in a museum? And it's in, what is the name of the city in Time for? Is it Silver Hills? I think that's the name of the city. If it's not, correct me. Silver Hills. So how did it go from Mariner Bay? How did the super demon go from Mariner Bay there? So that is the biggest issue that I had with Time for Lightspeed. Where did Viper come from? The super demon. And number 3 on the list of that episode, the final battle with Viper. So you mean to tell me all it took was for y'all to blast at Viper to destroy her and Quagonon? That was it? That was it. Like, Viper was a badass in Lightspeed Rescue. Like with her Vipari, they could barely touch her. Like, Viper was a badass. Now, although I think her acting was not the best, but Jennifer L. Yin did good for what she could do. But yeah, it's still an episode that I watch. It's still an episode that I do watch. It's just plagued with so many questions in that episode. All right, you guys. Number 8 is Wormhole from SPD. Now, Wormhole, I don't know I think it may have aired on the Fox Family channel after the season had ended, because originally it was just on the DVDs, and the DVDs that I know. So when it came to SPD, I bought the SPD DVD Zapped, where we were introduced to Sam, and on Zapped it was a special episode on Sam on Zapped, and I think it's on Boom as well, because I also have Boom. I think it's on Boom. I know it's on Zapped, and I think it's on Boom. So that's where it originally was, where it first showed up at, is on the DVDs, and then later on it showed up on the television. But like I said, I think it showed up on television after the season had wrapped, after the season finale. And I love that episode. And I was kind of bummed that we didn't see Tommy, because that timeline that they were in, the kids were still in school. So definitely, okay, it makes a lot of sense now. Because if I'm thinking about the timeline, that was a timeline, I know this was filmed after Dino Thunder had ended. But that timeline, I think that was that timeline when wait a minute, but did Trent show up in the episode? I don't think Trent was in that episode. I have to go back and watch that episode. I don't think Trent was in it. But I do think Jeffrey, how do you pronounce his last name? Pizarro? I think he voiced Tommy. But if I'm thinking correctly, because I've read this over the years, I'm thinking that timeline is back when Tommy had gotten crystallized in that amber, and they couldn't get him out They couldn't get him out. So I think that was that timeline. And I think if it wasn't when he was crystallized, it was at that point. No, he wasn't crystallized because obviously he showed up. So I think this was the timeline after Tommy was, taken out of that crystallized form, where he couldn't demorph for a long time. That's what it was, where he couldn't demorph. So that's why we never saw him, technically, because he couldn't demorph. But overall, I love Wormhole. No one gets inside our circle. 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 Oh God, I'm having a good time with this countdown. Shout out to the subscriber who asked me about that. I had been planning on doing it, but since there was nothing going on this week in Ranger news, I said, what? Let's go ahead and do this video and the video that's coming up next. So stick around, and you guys will be thoroughly entertained with me today. Hopefully, you guys are entertained. I hope I'm entertaining you guys. All right, you guys. So number 7 on the list is going to be an episode from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and this is actually the very first time that we ever had a crossover episode and a team-up episode, and it was a good episode to me. And if you guys have not figured it out, it's A Friend in Need parts 1 through 3. I can't really say anything bad about the episode. Only thing I can say is that fact that we were introduced to Dex from the planet Edenoi, King Lexian's grandson, who is the Masked Rider. So Alpha, who was created by King Lexian, he could feel that King Lexian was in need of help. So the Rangers went to Edenoi to help. When they got to Edenoi, Dex thought that the Rangers worked for Count Dragon, although they didn't. And, they helped Dex. And ultimately, that is what spun the spinoff for Masked Rider, which was very short-lived. But I love Masked Rider. Masked Rider. I love Masked Rider. That was my show back in the day, too. So, and I'm actually probably going to do a video about each show from the Saban era back in the 90s, like BR Troopers, Beetleborgs Metallics. What did I just say? I'm gonna start over. I forgot what I was saying. Beetleborgs, Masked Rider, BR Troopers, Mystic Knights of Tyrannog. I might talk about Young Hercules because I did watch Young Hercules. Digimon. Oh my God, that was my favorite show. Digimon. What else? I didn't watch Cyber 9 or Cyber 6. I watched Los Luchadores. Actually, I hated that show, to be quite honest with you. Los Luchadores. What else was there in the 90s? Transformers, the X-Men, Beast Wars, Beast Machines. What else is there? What else? You guys let me know, because I know I'm missing like quite a few shows from the 90s. So let me know if you are, again, within my age range of 30, or if you were around during the 90s. Like, let me know some of the other shows that you guys used to watch back in the day, and we'll talk about them. I'll do some separate videos about them. Number 6 on the list is Reinforcements from the Future parts 1 and 2 from Power Rangers Wild Force. Now, Wild Force is not the best season in my book, but I love that team up episode because I love seeing Jen Scott's badass and her and that lover. Like, man, I'm like, that's my girl. Like, Jen did that when she ripped that thing off and whoom. I'm like, there. I'm like, Jen. Shout out to Wes. But yeah, And that's really short. Nothing bad to say about the episode. Great episode. Loved all 2 parts of it. Yeah, loved it. Watch it faithfully. So we're gonna keep on going down my list. Number 5. Now this one could have been higher, but this episode was plagued with so much crap. And what episode am I talking about, you guys? You might be able to guess it by now. It is Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, Trickiness Revenge, Parts 1 and 2. Now, Trickiness Revenge, if you guys don't know, I am a huge fan of Lost Galaxy. I'm pretty sure you guys could tell from the video that I did early this year about the 20th anniversary episode of 20th year anniversary of Lost Galaxy. Lost Galaxy is my favorite season of all time. I love Lost Galaxy. Love Lost Galaxy. But Lightspeed Rescue, Trickiness Revenge let me down. It really did let me down because I actually watch it. I'm always gonna watch it because I love Trickiness. I love the Lost Galaxy Rangers. I'm always gonna watch that episode. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But the episode had so much that was wrong with it, and we're gonna go ahead and just talk about it. And this might be a long rant about Trickiness Revenge. So my issues with Trickiness Revenge, number 1 issue is Heather. There's nothing wrong with the little girl Heather. I just hated that she was the main focal point of the whole entire episode. The episode was titled Trickiness Revenge. We very rarely saw Trickiness. And then with the Galaxy Rangers, they were, sprinkled here and there. And then with Leo, like the voiceover was so horrible. You could clearly tell that was the guy Mike, the guy that played Mike. I could listen to that. I'm like, that is Mike's voice. That is not Leo. And then also with the episode, in part 2 of the episode, like part 1, we got Leo, Kai, and Maya, but we did not see Kendricks and Damon into part 2. And then also the morph. What was up? I know that morph was a Sentai morph because they said go Galactic, and then they would twist it. I'm like, no, we did not twist when we morphed here in the U.S. We said go Galactic, and you would see them doom 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 doom, and they would do that. They never did that ever in the whole entire season of Lost Galaxy. Did they ever do that shit? Like, I was thoroughly pissed. And the one thing, and the number one thing that pissed me off the most with Trickiness Revenge, Trickiness. How do you have Trickiness Revenge with no Trickiness? Technically, they had Trickiness, but that was not Trickiness. That was not my Amy Miller, Amy Roll. I think they had got married after Lost Galaxy. Amy Roll. Oh God, she is still fine as hell to this day. Oh, I saw Amy Miller on Amy Roll. I saw her on Instagram. I'm like, damn, she still look good. Even dressed as an insect, she was fine. Like, that was the number one issue. And I know what the issue was with her. The issue was the budget, because they didn't want to pay her that much, and they were making a whole episode about Heather trying to find her mom, who Trickiness kidnapped, to return to her green form. Now, I did like the storyline. The storyline was pretty cool. She was taking a people's life force energy, which I was kind of confused why the life force energy was green. I know she was trying to mutate to green, but the life force energy was green. Okay. And then, but also the other thing that confused me, the life force energy, when it drained the people, it bubbled, so it turned into water, and the water was green. Okay, so that was the other thing. And then another thing was that the fact that the episode was copying and pasted of the Go-Go 5 versus the Gingamon episode. Like, it was copy and paste almost. And I've actually watched that full episode too. And I'm like, damn, they literally did copy and paste pretty much every scene, with the exception of there were like small US scenes where, and I think the only things that were US made scenes were the ones when Kendricks and Damon showed up. You called? That was obviously that was an original scene, and I know the scene where they were battling with the demons. One scene in there was an original, and I think the only thing that was original in that fight scene was the scene with Lokai fighting with Maya and Kelsey. I think that might have been the only original part of that. Everything else was Sentai footage. So, and then this is my theory it's not a theory, it's what I say about Trickiness Revenge. So that final form, when Olympia's poison, that poison that was stronger than 10 Taipans, even Trikina has no chance against it. Because remember, Queen Banshiro was afraid of Trikina mutating to green. If a Trikina mutates to green, she would have the power to destroy she would have the power to destroy them. Going back to when Velamat said that he would train her to be a warrior that people would fear. Well, the demons feared her. But that final form that Trikina was in my world, that was not Trikina. That was just a regular random monster, and it's not my Trikina. My Trikina is still out there somewhere in the world 20 years later, hurt and wounded. That's what I feel. That was not Trikina. That was not Trikina. That was not Trikina. Since I didn't see Trikina, and you know what? Because that actually, so Trickiness Revenge, that was released on VHS before it was ever aired on television. It was released on that triple combo VHS tape, which I don't know what's on that tape because I never found it in the stores. Never found it. But yeah, so yeah, that's how I feel about Trickiness Revenge. Let me know what you guys think about Trickiness Revenge. But I still love the episode. That just wasn't Trikina. All right, you guys. So we're almost finished. We're at number 4. So number 4 on the list is going to be Rangers of Two Worlds. I can't really say anything bad about Rangers of Two Worlds. And if you guys don't know, Rangers of Two Worlds is from Power Rangers Zeo. This is the episode where the Zeo Rangers teamed up with the Alien Rangers. I really do love that episode. It's so funny because King Mondo and Queen Machina made their monster, and then Rita and Zed made their monster. And it's like a purse. It was that ugly ass purse that Catherine made in her class. But yeah, I had to put that on the list high because I love Rangers of Two Worlds. Favorite episode. Oh my god, I love that one. So yeah, we're winding down, and with the ones that are coming up, it's just nothing. I can't say anything bad about these episodes because they're literally my favorites for a reason. So we're just gonna keep the ball rolling. Number 3. So number 3 on the list is going to be Forever Red. I hated putting Forever Red number 3 because I actually really, really love Forever Red. But you guys know the last 2 that are left, and you know what season they're from. So there was no way that I could put Forever Red before either one of them. So yeah, I love seeing all the Red Rangers team up. Only downfall was that I did not like about it was the fact that I didn't understand. So the Machine Empire, how did they survive if Zordon's wave destroyed all of the leaders from the Machine Empire? And that was what? So 2003 is when this episode aired, right? I believe it was 2003. Wild Force was 2003, right, you guys? Or was it? No. Wild Force. Wild Force was... Okay. Wild Force was 2002. Yeah. Okay. So Lost Galaxy was 99. So we got... In Space was 98, right? 98. And Lost Galaxy was 99. Lightspeed Rescue was 2000, and then Time Force was 2001. So then, okay, so yeah, I'm right. I was wrong about 2003. It was 2002. So Wild Force was 2002. So that was 5 years. Now, my whole thing is, the Machine Empire, along with, you know, Rita and Zed, Divatox, Master Vile, all of them were either destroyed by Zordon's wave or turned good. So I don't understand how the Machine Empire survived. And then they survived in the form of the big bad Beetleborgs, you know, Shadowborg, Ladyborg. I can't remember the other Borg's names, and I recently just watched Beetleborgs Metallics when they got those coins. But you know, they also had the Green Hunters, the Green Hunter. Well, his thing was called a Hunter Claw. The White Blaster Beetleborg, the Red Striker Borg. I can't remember those names. I'm fucking them up. I know that. But yeah, the Machine Empire, that was a big thing for me. And then also the fact that Leo only demorphed for a few minutes and he morphed again. And then Oracle, we didn't even see Oracle. So I'm assuming that with Oracle, they couldn't get the guy who played Oracle. And that's what I'm thinking with that one. So I wasn't tripping on that. But Leo, what is the deal with Danny Salvin back in the night? What is the deal with Danny Salvin? Like, can somebody explain it to me? Like with Trickiness Revenge and with this episode, what was up with Danny Salvin? I know he went on to be a lawyer. I do know that much. I think he's a lawyer. But like, somebody explain to me the whole thing with Danny Salvin. Like, Danny Salvin, Savant, so however you pronounce his name, but somebody let me know what happened. What was the deal with him, Leo? So number 2 and number 1, you're not gonna be. I mean, you know what they are, and you know what season they're from. So, drum roll please for number 2. Number 2 on my list is To the 10th Power. So yeah, To the 10th Power. Oh my God, and it's from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. To see the Psycho Rangers again, oh my God. When I saw DVI and I saw him get, you know, and that monster gave him that box, and you know, the monster was about to attack DVI, and then DVI turned around and blasted him. I'm like, how did that happen? But I didn't care about that. Then when I saw him say, hello, my friends, I said, no, the Psycho Rangers? And then when he revived them, I was like, oh my God, the Psycho Rangers. But man, that team up episode was amazing, wasn't it? Like, I still get goosebumps when I watch that. And then that scene where Leo and Andros went to save the others right on time. You? Bet you didn't expect to see me again, huh? 2 Red Rangers? I'll go down in history. It's time for a Psycho Ranger Rumble. You'll be sorry you ever return when he and I get through with you. Make me proud. I know I said it out of order. Time for a Psycho Ranger Rumble. Make me proud. And then when Mike went in to save him, oh, and then my favorite line. How about 11 of us? Huh? That's how I was as a kid. Like, I was like, Ashley, Cassie, Carlos, and TJ. Oh, ready, guys? Let's rock it. Oh, man, I'm getting myself hyped up. Like, Lost Galaxy is my favorite episode. Now, can we talk about Lost Galaxy, this episode, just a little bit? Like, and here's another thing. I know Valerie Vernon, that she had leukemia and that she had left. But if you look at go back and just look at this episode, like, look at it. Because if you notice, when Leo said, you guys ready to join the party? And you see Kai and Kendricks, they shake their head yes. And then they go Galactic. If you notice, the actress, the person that did the Morphin call, that wasn't Valerie Vernon. That was her. That was the stand-in actress. So other than that, amazing episode. And we're gonna move over to the last one, which you guys pretty much should be able to guess by this point what number 1 is. But we're gonna go into it anyways. And number 1, it's the Power of Pink from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. The Power of Pink is going to always, I don't care what other team, like this Beast Morphin team up that we get next year, that can be the shit. But nothing is ever going to top the Power of Pink in my book, because the Power of Pink in my book is the best episode of all time in Ranger history. You can disagree with me, that's my opinion, but I think Power of Pink is the best episode. And you might disagree with me on this thing, but I believe that Kendrix is the best Pink Ranger of all time. No Pink Ranger has done what Kendrix has done. Yes, Jen is a badass, and Jen is number 2 on my list for the Pink Rangers, which I might do a video about my favorite Ranger colors, my favorite Rangers in their colors. But Jen is and I watched a video of someone recently where they were ranking their favorite Pink Rangers. But I'm sorry, Jen is the leader of the Time Force team, and she's, like I said, she's a badass in her own respect. But Jen just cannot take away from Kendrix, because Kendrix made the ultimate sacrifice when Psycho Pink survived. And then Psycho Pink attacked Cassie, and she attacked Kendrix. She was more so after Cassie with the Savage Sword. And then, when Cassie demorphed and her morpher flew off, that's it for you, Pink Rank. Your morpher holds much power. Don't do it! And that power will be mine. Yes. No. Don't die. I'm sorry, I had to do it. But yeah, for Kendrix to sacrifice herself for Cassie, that was so selfless. Like, who has done that? Who besides Kendrix has sacrificed their powers their powers and their life for someone else? Nobody. So that is my number 1 episode. So you guys, that's it for the Team Up episode countdown. So stick around, and I am going to do my favorite Ranger seasons in order, just like I did with this episode, this video. You'll get that in just a few minutes. But let me know your favorite Team Up episodes, and you can just list them all going down. And we can talk about it and have a discussion about it. And I look forward to talking about this with you guys. Like, this is my list. So my list is strictly, just for me, so you can't say, you can say, I would have put this, and I would have put this one here, this one there, but it's not going to change my list because it's my opinion. But I'm really interested to see what you guys think. So like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in a few minutes for my favorite Ranger seasons, going from, least to most.